Caleb Plant, David Benavidez. Let us know how that fight plays out and who's your favorite.
I like Plant.
You like Plant?
I like Plant.
Wow, you're going against the grain there.
I like Plant. Not only I like him, the spirit and how he comes to fight, but I also think he has a style. And I think the opportunity right now, I think that he has more of the mental. He might not be the most talented out of both of them, but I believe he has that work ethic, blue-collar worker type of mentality. I just think he wins the fight, and I think he shocks everybody and win it. Not easy, but he's not going to have as much difficulty as people are predicting. I think this is going to be one of the upsets that people are going to be, if they want to call it that, surprised about.
Why do you
I like
feel
him to
that?
win.
Like, skill-wise, what do you see there that gives him the upset?
I see the consistency and what he do, and I believe that he know that you don't get too many chances like that, and he had a few, and I don't think he's going to pass up to it. I think that he's more hungry to win. And it ain't just because what's been going on between the back and forth and all that, because, look, you can read two ways in that, but we know one way we know is they promoting it.
Yeah.
Past that, I just believe he has the better grit. I believe he wants it more. And I think that when he fights the fight that he's been fighting lately, I don't think it's going to be as difficult as we think it is going to be. But it will be a decision fight, unless someone get cut with a cut. But other than that, I think it will go to the distance and it will be a hard fight. Both fighters will spend one or two fights of their career come that night they fight.
Yeah, well, a lot of fans are picking Benavidez by knockout because of what happened in the Canelo fight. They feel a younger, taller guy that has more volume is going to really put it on Caleb because there's a lot of bad blood there.
Yeah, the bad blood is true. But I just think that these taller, longer arms, but I think that Plant's style is going to take that away because Plant likes and loves to fight the way he likes to fight. And I don't think that's going to be changed in this fight. I don't think that's going to be changed. I think it's going to be a fight of will more than heart. It's going to be the will that's going to win this fight.
In your opinion, what do you make of David Benavidez as a fighter? What do you see there?
I think he's an excellent fighter. I just think this fight is a bad matchup for him. He might fire the matchmaker after this fight.
I'm a fan of both. I think I really like the way Plant boxes and moves. I like his last fight was great. The knockout against Durrell, and I love his story. He's just a good fighter, good boxer. And Benavidez though is just a monster. I think he just in this fight with Plant, I feel like it can start off with Plant boxing and moving in the beginning of the fight, but little by little, I think Benavidez is gonna, as he gets closer and closer and starts connecting and landing those power shots, it's kind of gonna be similar to what we saw with Plant versus Canelo.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I've been telling people. I was like, hey, because everybody asks me, what do you think? I'm like, I think Plant could control the first few rounds, but then, possibly David can take over, or vice versa. But he
has good footwork and he's smart and he uses his defense very well. But the question is, can he do that throughout the whole fight? While getting hit with Benavidez's power shots and aggression.
Sinisa, I know you said he's a monster. Everybody keeps on saying he's a monster. He's a monster. What makes him a monster?
I think for just being a big guy, he's very explosive and fluid with his shots, and you don't really see that with a fighter who's that big, or with many fighters at all now. So that's what makes him a monster for sure.
I'm really a David Benavidez fan, so I'm going with David Benavidez, and I think that he's more. He has more action. Like he's gonna come to him, and I think that he can cut the ring off probably better than Canelo did when he fought David Plant. So, but I do think David Plant is. I know he works very hard. I know he trains hard, and he has good speed, and it seems like his power is getting better. So it could be a problem. But like I said, I'm probably going with David Benavidez.
David Benavidez.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm going with Caleb.
You're going with Caleb?
No. I think David's the favorite, no doubt, hands down, 100%. But if anyone has a style to beat David, it would be Caleb, because now that, I mean, he's very similar to mine, and I love that type of style that you know what he's going to be. You know what it is in front of you. Nothing's going to be tricky. You know what David is, so you know how to prepare for that. And now that he's setting down on his punching and really cracking, that's going to, hey, David may be, wait, time out here. Let's slow things down. And that's what may give him a little advantage. So.
Yeah, well, a lot of people feel
maybe
David all the way because
mean,
of what happened in the Canelo fight.
Right,
because
right, yeah.
they say now you got a guy that's younger,
Yeah.
throws more,
and
bigger.
taller, bigger. And like I said, I watched David work at the gym, and I seen his style. Like, he has the old school values. His mentality is like, I'm coming to get you. He blocks, catch, throws. I mean, body shot. I mean, he does everything. So he's a different animal than the fighters that fight nowadays. And I think that's what Caleb Plant's going to see. And be like, oh, my God, well, wait a minute. It's just different. So we'll see what happens, though.
But I think, just like I said, though, Caleb became a better fighter after that. So he learned he can't go and hit somebody like this and keep him off. He's got to crack down. And you just watch how he's been throwing his punches. He's sitting down and he's hurting these people. And that's the main thing. Yeah. He already has the skills not to be hit defensively. It's an offensive, and he's been working on offense, and he's got that up there. So, I mean, it's going to be a great fight.
How do you see the fight? Like, envisioning it? Like, what?
I envision it starting off very fast. Caleb, like throwing his jabs, 1-2s, and hooks and getting around, trying to get out the way, and David coming at him very, very fast. He keeps his hands. He's very quick too. He's tall, so it's going to be a different perspective for Caleb Plant to throw. Instead of throwing like right here, he got to throw up, and the guy's coming at him. It's almost like the way Margarito used to come at guys, but he's better than Margarito the way the combinations come and the speed. So I'm not sure how hard David hits as far as one punch knockout. I know he puts the combinations together really good, but I do know that the way his pressure game, the way he put that pressure on you, that pressure game is really tight. That pressure game tight. I like it. I love it.
That's the only thing is like, yeah, if Caleb can't get him to respect him, it's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
So he has to get that respect.
He has to
get the respect.
Has to the first round. Has to.
I don't know if it's so much the first round or the second round, but he has to get some kind of respect where David just, got to watch him. But David's just the type that he's coming at you. Like, he's coming at you and he's coming with bad intentions the whole time.
I don't think Caleb is... he's skilled, but he's not good enough to beat Benavidez. Benavidez has a better arsenal, he's younger, he's still undefeated, he's got all the credentials to fight those kind of fights, and I think he is other than Bivol, he is the cream of the crop in those weights. Benavidez, when he has somebody in front of him, looks like $1 million. When he has nobody in front of him, he loses interest. He goes back to like his brother used to do, sit on the ropes and not do the things that he needs to do, but he's an extreme talent. I think that, like I said, I think he beats everybody but Bivol. I've always said that he would be the toughest fight for Canelo, and I still say that, so it's Bivol, Canelo, and Benavidez at the top for me.
Benavidez, Canelo. So provided that either one wins, do you believe that Caleb Plant deserves a rematch against Canelo? And do you also believe that Benavidez, provided that he beats Caleb Plant, he can go into a fight with Canelo?
Well, we can hope for that, but it's up to Canelo.
That's what Eddie Hearn said. Eddie Hearn said if he puts a great performance against Canelo, Benavidez, he deserves a fight versus...
yeah, that's what he's saying right now. Let's see that happen. Benavidez is probably the young lion right now in those divisions. He's only 25, 26 years old, so anybody that fights him hasn't got nothing to gain, and Benavidez has everything to gain. So if Caleb Plant does well against Benavidez, and yeah, he deserves a shot, because I think those guys that are fighting regularly, those guys that are putting their record on the line, those guys that are putting their livelihood on the line, deserve those kind of fights. If the Charlos were able to do that also, then they would deserve those fights. But the guys that are busy, in my opinion, should be the ones that are getting those type of fights.
It's gonna be a good ass fight.
What do you think about David and Plant going back and forth in the press conference?
I mean, that's what you need to build a fight. I think that Benavidez, to me, it seems like he's a little bit threatened by Plant. Plant did just knock out Anthony Durrell. I think that's where some of the animosity comes from, but Benavidez is a bad man. He's a bad man.
What makes him a bad man?
He's not scared of nobody. He'll fight anybody. He's hungry. He's young. He throws punches and bunches. A big, strong guy. I believe that Caleb can can deal with him skillfully, but I don't know about power. So I would love to see it.
Y'all already know, look, I'm rocking with Plant. Plant got the boxing skills. Benavidez just in one dimension. He's going to come forward. He's going to put a lot of pressure. But y'all know when, hey, styles make fights, and so this is going to be a good one. But y'all know I'm rocking with Plant.
They just talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just talk.
Who you got in Benavidez and Plant?
Shit, Plant. I might go with Plant.
And at the same time, are you interested in that bout to get the winner of that fight?
Yeah, hopefully I get the winner. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. Boxing is gonna take its toll. If they want to see me, they're gonna see me.
How do you see that fight ending? You and either one. How do you see that fight ending?
With me?
Yeah.
I'm knocking everybody the fuck out. All right? Yeah, McGill don't want no smoke. He would have been fought me. Y'all acting like y'all promoters. I'm not a promoter. I'm a fighter. I do the fighting, all right? If they want to fight me, they going to make it happen. That's all I can do. Everybody want to fight the best, the champ. You know what I'm saying? I'm the champ. So everybody going to want to fight the champ. It's okay. Y'all don't take it too personal. They're supposed to call me out.
Another cracker. You know, Benavidez is a very, very talented fighter. Caleb Plant, he's got a set. You know, and he can bang, can he? He can punch, so he can't write Caleb Plant off. Whatever fight Caleb Plant's in, it'll be a great fight. You know, but Benavidez, another great fighter. But again, I see Caleb Plant taking him out. You know, he's a big puncher, and he's got a set of balls, that kid. You know, and at the end of the day, he gave Canelo a good fight. You know, probably the best in the world at his weight, Canelo. You know, an all-time great at the sport, and he gave a good account of himself there. You know, and again, just on my opinion, on experience, opponents faced like Caleb Plant has, I favour Plant.
So you and Bernard Hopkins have been the ones that have picked Caleb Plant to beat Benavidez. It seems like overwhelmingly everyone's picking Benavidez just because of, you know, his pressure style, the amount of punches he throws. What do you guys see there that we're not seeing?
Again, brains beats brawn, you know, and you know, Caleb Plant is a thinking fighter. Yeah. He gets himself in and out of trouble. Well, in trouble. He gets himself out of trouble. You know, he's got the footwork, he's got the skill, and he goes when he's ready again. You know, he's just not flailing away. He's looking to pot shot you and take you out. He knows he can punch. He's got 100% confidence in his ability and punching power. Men with confidence and men what can punch are hard to beat. You know, and like I say, he's already been in the big time, hasn't he? Plant. He knows what it's all about. You know, and I think this is a new thing for Benavidez, isn't it? You know, but let's just say it'd be a good fight. But Benavidez again, a great fighter, but there's a difference in great and excellent, isn't there? You know what I'm saying? So let's just see. But I'm picking Plant.
I'm going to be short and sweet on this. I haven't studied these guys, but I know both guys. I've known both guys for 15 years or so. I just think that Benavidez is the bigger, stronger fighter, and speed being Caleb's forte, he's up against a guy, Benavidez, who's just as fast, if not faster. So I would say Benavidez in the decision here.
Who wins between Benavidez and Caleb Plant, in your opinion?
Benavidez. Yeah. Could beat everybody. My money's with Benavidez until he gets beat. And then if he gets beat, I'm still with him.
What makes him so good, in your opinion, Mike? Why does he beat everybody, in your opinion?
His attitude. You know, he was a little heavy, fat kid and stuff like that, and he wanted to prove himself to the world. Mm-hmm. Listen. The greatest fighters in the world are the most insecure fighters. It doesn't seem that way, but it is.
Does he beat Canelo, in your opinion?
I think he beats everybody he gets in the ring with. So I don't have to say nobody's name or anything.
I love the fight. I love the fight. I think Benavidez will be a little too much for him. Yeah. I'm excited because the winner then maybe can fight Canelo. So I'm thinking finally Benavidez can get a shot at Canelo. So a lot of good things are going to happen for 2023. Boxing is back, baby.
Yeah. How do you see that fight? Like, how difficult of a fight is it for both?
Tough fight. Very, very tough fight. Yeah.
Tell us, like, how could it go?
Well, I think Plant, you know, he holds his he holds his pride, his heart, he's got passion for fighting, he holds it on his shoulder, he's a proud fighter, and he's a dedicated fighter, and he's he knows what he wants, he wants to be world champion, he wants to fight the best. He's a great boxer, great technician, and he can fight too. I just feel, and this is my opinion, that Benavidez, as big as he is, as long as he is, the way he throws punches and bunches, the way he can take a punch, I think it's going to be a little too much for Plant. I think the fact that he's 23, 24 years, I mean, he's a young guy. He's just growing. He's strong. He's big. It's going to be a good fight, but I have Plant. I have Benavidez for. That's my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of people feel because how the way Canelo handled him, that David is going to do like a lot more.
Well, he's going to throw a lot more punches, that's for sure. Yeah. And I strongly feel that Benavidez is stronger than Canelo.
Does David beat Canelo, in your opinion?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, in a good fight. In a good fight, yeah.
Why do you think that?
Just because of the reach, just because of the jab. And anybody who knows how to throw a jab or who throws it against a fighter like Canelo is always going to create problems for Canelo.
Benavidez, I like him. I like the style out there where he is, and I think he can stop him.
He stops him, yeah?
Yes.
What round do you think?
I think the 7th round.
7th round.
Yes.
So, okay, everyone I've talked to has said between 6, 7, and 8. Why are you guys all picking around that? Like, what do you guys see there?
Oh, because Benavidez, he take the pace little by little, and I think at a plan he always try to be sneaky forward, but I think that's why.
Wow. So David has told me once he fights with Caleb and Charlo, he wants to move up to 175.
Oh, that's great.
And he says that he feels that he can knock out Bivol. What do you think?
I think anything can happen in boxing. Boxing is tricky, man. Boxing is the best sport in the world for me, and I think anything can happen in the ring.
Do you think he is able to beat Bivol, in your opinion?
Of course, he has a lot of talent. He's a good guy. He has his skillful, and I like him. Yeah, he can do. Yeah.
You got a guy that come right at you behind the jab and throw a lot of punches. Then you got Caleb Plant, slick, box, move. You know what I mean? It's a great fight to see.
Caleb Plant spoke naturally just coming off of a knockout versus Anthony Durrell, scintillating knockout. He says, don't be surprised if I was able to knock out David Benavidez.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised either, though. You know what I mean? Anything can happen in boxing, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Caleb got all the goods. You know what I mean? To do what he had to do. He can box, like I said, he box, move, smart fighter, you know what I mean?
Any avenues to victory for Caleb Plant? Do you think that it's possible for Caleb Plant to beat Benavidez on points?
Oh, no, I couldn't really say, you know what I mean? Like I said, he's a good boxer. All depends on what he do and how he fight him, you know what I mean? You use the jab, tie him up, you know what I mean? Frustrate him, and, you know what I mean? Until the later rounds, and then do what you have to do.
I mean, listen, the best fighter wins. They're both good. I think Plant does have what it takes. We haven't really seen David Benavidez, go 12 rounds where somebody knows how to move and be slick and stuff like that. So that's what I think is his advantage. And, like I said, for David Benavidez, we only know pretty much one thing of him is going forward, putting the combinations together. From the distance, doesn't look that great. But listen, either one of them, this is my steps before I can be able to call them out. Whoever, like I said, again, Charlo is my number one preference. Of course, at any weight, really not 60. Well, he can catch it. He can do a catch weight if he's screaming out, "People, 1-5, come on, man, try it." Come on, bro. Let's get to what we really want to get to. If David Benavidez and Caleb Plant is making it happen, so can we. Time is now. That's what that means.
Of course, I'm going to go for my bro Benavidez, but I think still a competitive fight. Caleb Plant's very strong, very talented fighter. I'm pulling for Benavidez. I think he's going to knock him out. But again, it's a competitive fight. It's a fight that fans want to see, and I'm very excited.
When you talk about knocking him out, in what style do you believe he can do it? Because, David Benavidez is a good inside fighter. Caleb Plant, he's an outside fighter. He has very good skills, doesn't stay in front of you, per se. People would say he's running, but obviously he's boxing purely. So what do you think would be the moment that David Benavidez can knock out Caleb Plant?
I see David as like a pressure boxer, and they call him the Mexican monster for a reason, you know. Well, he's gonna handle it. I think he's gonna do his thing, you know, do what he always does. Look at the last fight with Lemieux, you know, he crushed him. So I see it kind of going like that. Maybe not that early, because again, Caleb Plant's a talented fighter, but I do see him winning.
Benavidez, you know, he's aggressive, he's bigger, he has a heavy punch. And then you have Caleb Plant, who is a tremendous boxer, very smart, and he boxes well, you know. So it's an opposite things that we have. It's classic boxing fights, right? Like with the fighter and the boxer.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for Benavidez to win the fight, he has to be aggressive. He has to be on his face the whole time. In order for Caleb Plant to win the fight, he has to box well, he has to use feint, he has to use jab, he has to use lateral movement to win fights. At least to win this fight. With two guys, if Benavidez comes in there with pressure that breaks Plant's mentality, like Canelo did, I think that he will be able to break him down. But if Plant uses that jab, uses the lateral movement, uses the feint, it's hard to break him down because you're not in front of him all the time. Because with the feint, it stops you, right? So that's the fight that we want to see, is because it's a good, whoever imposes their style wins this fight.
You know, Caleb Plant, you know, he's a counter puncher, he's a great boxer. David Benavidez has fury combinations, he's stronger. Everybody keeps on calling Mike Tyson, giving the nickname the Mexican Monster.
Right.
A lot of fans are saying, you know, being critical that, you know, Caleb Plant could take control probably the first 4 rounds, 5 rounds, and after that, David Benavidez could use his size and his power. What's your overall thoughts on that?
Well, the Plant-Dirrell fight, Dirrell was in control a lot of the rounds, right? Or a lot of the fights. Have you seen the fight?
Yeah, yes.
What do you think of the fight?
Of Dirrell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a back and forth, and then you could just see like after the rounds that Caleb Plant was taking over the rounds.
Right. So Plant, you know, he has to take over. He has to be dominant in his style to win the fight. So that way he can create the knockout punch, the setup of the big punch, right? But if Benavidez comes in there with combination, with volume punch, with aggressiveness, will Plant be able to set up his big punch, right? Or set up to take over? So that's the question. This is why this fight is amazing to watch.
No, I think if Benavidez fights off emotion, I think he'll get beat. Because I think Plant is a very smart fighter. I think he's a great operator. But I favour Benavidez in that fight. But that's a great, you know, Benavidez beats Plant. That's a tremendous fight for Canelo Alvarez. This guy don't duck challenges. He wants to fight the best. What he wants is he wants to avenge his defeat to Dimitri Bivol. That's what's in his mind. But, you know, having worked with this guy, I've never seen anything like it. He don't give a fuck who you put in front of him. I'm telling you now, he does not give a fuck. He might want a good deal. He might want the right money for a big fight. Good on him. But this is a real fighter. A real fighter.
Well, see, that's a horrible assumption to believe that he's going to be running. You know, I think that's the biggest mistake. I think the whole world believes that he's going to be running around the ring. And I've seen, I guess, Jose Benavidez say the same thing, that he's going to be running around the ring. Well, I don't think he ran from Anthony Dirrell. I think he sat there and he was banging with Anthony Dirrell. And I'm not saying that's what he's going to do with Benavidez, but I do see, like in the other fight, that Caleb's going to change, you know, based on what's in front of him. In order to be great at what you do, you have to be able to make adjustments. And I feel as David brings his offense, that Caleb will decide how he needs to adjust to that. So if it's in a space where he needs to move his feet, he will. If it's in a space where he needs to sit down and bang, he's ready to. And I think he showed in his last fight with Anthony Dirrell, and I think it was the 9th round he knocked him out, that he is still able to physically be strong enough and fit enough to get the job done in the latter rounds.
Well, just based on what Canelo did to Plant, I've always said that Benavidez is probably the top dog at 168. So the fact that he has a relentless style, the fact that he's young, what is he, 23, 24 years old? Yeah. It's gonna be one of those tactical fights from Plant. He has a beautiful style, like I said, but ultimately I think Benavidez can just keep on walking him down, and the youth and the power and the strength is gonna ultimately win that fight.
Do you think he stops him, David?
If Canelo
knocked him out, then Benavidez will destroy him.
David's gonna stop him 100%. Like I said, David has the power. He's a smart fighter. He could take a punch. So I mean, it's gonna be a good night.
What is it that you feel makes you think that you'll get a knockout in this fight against Caleb?
Well, because most of my fights have been knockouts. I've only had knockouts I didn't have 3 fights that were knockouts. The first one is when I was 18. The second one was with Gavril. And then the second one was Gavril again. But if you see the second fight, it should have been stopped because I was beating the shit out of him the whole fight. But, I mean, this is just the type of fighter I am. Everybody I've been in the ring with, I've hurt. You know, when I was 15 years old, when I was sparring champions. Now when I fight, every time I spar, I hurt somebody, you know what I mean? So this is just the type of fighter I am, and I'm not gonna let off. I feel like it helped me a lot because it gained my respect. I was an amateur in anything, so I had to really earn my respect, and I fought with every ounce of energy in my body, and this how I'm gonna keep doing. And now that I know that I'm stronger, mentally better, I know exactly what I have to do. I've been professional 10 years, so I know exactly what it takes to stop a fight. I know exactly what it takes to knock somebody out, and now we're just going to put the game plan together.
Is there a part of you that you look at what Canelo did against Caleb and you want to do better? You want to have a better performance, a better result than him?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like when everybody, it's not only just with him. I just want to have the performance once I get in there. You know, you see my fights. The way I go and I dissect the fight is completely different from everybody. It's more brutal. You know, I go in there, I'm throwing punches and bunches, and I don't mind to get hit a few shots to get the shots I want to get off. But definitely seeing what Canelo did to Caleb Plant, I know I could do better, and I will do better. And I'm gonna stop him earlier.
Is there any way he makes it to 12 rounds and this fight goes to a decision? I know Caleb's a very technical boxer. He's going to, I would think, move around in this fight, try to use his boxing, use his distance. Do you think at all it does go 12 rounds?
No, I don't think it goes 12 rounds. But the thing about is the way I'm thinking is that we're not going to let off on any single round. If it takes the first round all the way to the 12th round, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing on the gas. And I know my gas tank is better than everybody's. I have a really good second wind. You know, I throw a lot of punches, and it's going to happen for sure.
If David Benavidez beats Caleb Plant, is that interesting for you? Do you think that is now a big fight if he wins?
Yeah, look, every fight is good for me and for the fans. Right? But you know, my goal now is B-ball, and then we'll see. Like I say, right now my goal is B-ball, and then we'll see what happens. But if the fight with B-ball don't happen, then we look other things.
Why do you feel Benavidez beats Caleb Plant?
I think is I don't know, man. It's a good fight. It's a good fight, no. But I think he's more strong. He's had good qualities, so that's why.
So as always, man, good seeing you. Appreciate it, man.
That's supposed to be that way, right?
Supposed to be what way?
Benavidez beat Caleb.
He's the favorite,
yeah.